Good morning, everyone, and welcome to one of the 23 campuses of the great California State University system, Stanislaus State. My name is Michelle Lottie, and I am the Vice President for University Advancement. I've been assigned the honorable task of serving as your ceremonial host for the inauguration of the 11th President of California State University, Stanislaus, Dr. Ellen Junn. I'm now pleased to introduce Miss Renelle Prescott, who will lead us in the national anthem. She's accompanied by the California State University Stanislaus Wind Ensemble, which is led by Mr. Romero Barrera. Please stand for the national anthem. With delight, I now get to introduce you to the United States Poet Laureate, Juan Felipe Herrera. Librarian of Congress, James H. Billington, appointed Juan Felipe Herrera as the library's 21st Poet Laureate Consultant in Poetry on June 10, 2015. And on April 13, 2016, Acting Librarian of Congress David Mao appointed Herrera to serve a second term. As lifted from the Library of Congress, the Poet Laureate seeks to raise the national consciousness to a greater appreciation of the reading and writing of poetry. I anticipate that to be the case today. President Junn met Mr. Herrera at a reading event last year. She was so moved by his words and his story that she knew it would not be the last encounter. For words of inspiration, please welcome Juan Felipe Herrera.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes. Buenos días. ¿Cómo están? How are you this morning, everyone? Beautiful to see you, and it's beautiful to be here. I'm very honored to be with you. It's a great privilege and honor to welcome our new president, Ellen Junn, and it's so beautiful to see the rainbows dance before us. Wasn't that great? And let us keep those rainbows in our lives. Let us keep that turquoise, that sky in our lives. Let us keep the weaving of silver in our lives. Let us keep those emeralds and those lilacs and those golden colors in our lives, and the music and the song and the instruments that we heard just now, the anthem. All of us, each one, cada uno de nosotros, cada uno de ustedes, each one of us, always in community. Let us honor all here at CSU Stanislaus. Let us honor this day of light and a new way of new ideas. In a time where new ideas seek voices and pioneers, where the people, our students, our familias, our families, our society see an open gate, not a closed wall, a new moment where our mothers, our grandmothers, our fathers, our grandfathers seek a fountain of new ideas, a new example. We are looking for a new example, a flowing, a replenishing, an example, an inspiration held up by each other's inspirations. Let us honor this miracle, this possibility of renewed strength here in the valley, here in Stanislaus, a lifting vision, a new practice. Today it begins. It is possible here at CSU Stanislaus, here in this home, on this land, throughout this campus, in each one's new horizons. Each one here will participate. Each one here is going to build this new society. Each one here is going to set this never-before-seen example, this new change, which begins today with our president of CSU Stanislaus, Dr. Junn. We begin, and we can begin, a new, unimaginable embrace of each other. And today is that day. We cannot wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow never arrives. We cannot think about yesterday. Yesterday is gone. All we have is this brilliant second in our hands, in our heart. What can we do? What will we do? We can do everything. In order to do everything, we must take on the greatest and most feared challenge for each one of us. Is it speaking up? Is it being a daring volunteer? Is it working together regardless of our point of view? Is it the violence that cannot be undone and yet undone? Is it learning a new language, 2 new languages? If we just learn 2 words, we will make a radical change. 3 words in another language, a new language, we will make a radical change. For example, maraming salamat. Thank you, muchas gracias. If we take on this greatest challenge, walking beyond our carved out and well-chiseled life patterns, walking patterns, thinking patterns, our heartbeat patterns and breathing patterns, how we live our lives together. Will we take on that challenge, a new way, a new example? Perhaps we've become a little too cozy, living our lives in separate floors, in separate rooms, on separate streets, in separate hallways, in separate cubicles, and backyards, and classrooms, offices, departments, and schools? Have we become a little too used to being separate? Perhaps we can become accustomed to a life of unity and not separation, a life of community and not alienation, a life not cut off from society and not cut off from each other, from everything, even though we go about believing we are part of everything. And today, we can begin again. Hoy podemos empezar de nuevo with our new president, Dr. Junn, with her new vision. Every day we must abandon ourselves so we can catch and see the new, so we can feel the new, so we can perceive the new, so we can catch the lightning bolt, the new concept of our lives. This is that moment here This is that moment here in the valley. This is that moment here in this nation. This is that moment here in our lives. And we can do this right now, today. Everyone say, we can do this, right now, today. We can fill our lives with a new turquoise. We can fill our lives with a new dance, with new instruments, with new melodies, with the sunlight gold, with the silver dawn, with this beautiful earth color, with all colors in our lives. It has to do with becoming one again. It has to do with becoming whole again. It has to do with not letting ourselves drift away from each other again. It has to do with taking a bold step toward each other again. It has to do with becoming one again and again and again. And today, we start again. Maybe we can review the old themes of our lives. Maybe we will need to let them go. Feeling too poor, too unable, too unworthy, too bitter, too fiery, too angry, too frozen, too numb, too hungry, too many ideas, too many old scenes, too many old plans, old dreams, too unsatisfied, too unjustified, too busy, too fast, so much, too much, without a home, a place, or a route, too in between, never whole, feeling incomplete. Today, we let go of those things. Today, we choose those golden colors. Today, we choose that howl, that holler of joy. Today, we choose stomp it on the floor with happiness. Today, we choose the trumpets blowing. Today, we choose the sun coming upon us. Today we choose the golden lake outside with those little funny swans and ducks and the little brilliant waves coming toward us and the cool breezy wind coming toward us and the sun beaming down on us. That's what we choose today with our new president. That's what we choose today, coming together as a community. Today we can start this new example. How do we do it? This is how we do it. How do we do it? This is how we do it. We don't have to figure it out. We're doing it right now. We're becoming the first timers again, the first thinkers again, the first actors again. Everyone say, the first actors, first thinkers, first timers, first walkers, first speakers, first singers, first dancers, first creators of a new time. Can we play a new melody, release our color into freedom? Can we release each other's color into love? Can we release our thinking into the freedom of thought for each other? Can we release out bordered lives into the freedom of life? One of peace, one of true, deep, rich peace, of one of total humanity, one of total full life, full life. Can we do this today? Let me ask you, can we do this today? Yes. Can we do this today? Yes. Can we do this today with all of our life that we have and with each other's life? Yes. Today is that day. There'll be no more begging, no more humiliation, no more ridicule, no more running from others, no more hunting others, no more banishment, no more punishment, no more hurt. There will be art. There will be the creative. There will be the voice, your beautiful voice, your voice, your beautiful voice, your voice, your free, creative voice. There will be freedom. There will be invention. There will be freedom. There will be invention. Today is that day, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Today, with our new president, today is that day of renewal. To move, everyone say, to move. to move, and assemble, and to put together, to create the new example, that new change. Let us do that right here, right now. So let us all take a deep, deep, beautiful breath. And let us greet each other for the first time. Everyone say, Buenos dias. Everyone say, Aloha. Everyone say, how are you? ¿Cómo estás? Feel the sky. Feel the turquoise. Feel the emerald green. Feel the golden sun, yellow beam. Feel that dawn turquoise light. Notice the unimagined big picture, endless, and you at the center of it. Today is that day you have been waiting for. You're at the center of the new, flourishing, 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 flores, flores, flores. Everyone say, flourishing, 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 flores, flores, flores. For each and every one of you, celebrating our new President, Alan Junn. A big mano to all of you. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Wow. Turquoise. Thank you so much. It is now my honor to introduce the members of the Platform Party. In consideration of time, as I introduce each of the represented groups, I ask that they stand and stay standing until all in the group have been introduced. Following the introduction of the groups, the audience can then share in their applause. I'm going to say this one time, so let's see how we do. All right. So first, representing the California State University, Chancellor Timothy White, Trustee Silas Abrego, Trustee Jane Carney, Trustee Hugo Morales, Trustee J. Lawrence Norton, Trustee George Reyes Salinas, Trustee Stephen Stepanek, Trustee Maggie White, Andrew Jones, Interim Vice Chancellor, Human Resources, From Vergy, Executive Vice Chancellor and General Counsel. Thank you. Next are the esteemed presidents that lead the other 22 campuses of the California State University system. Dr. Jeffrey Armstrong, Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. Dr. Joseph Castro, Fresno State. Dr. William Cavino, CSU, Los Angeles. Rear Admiral Thomas Cropper, Cal Maritime Academy. Dr. Karen Haynes, CSU, San Marcos. Dr. Leroy Morishita, CSU, East Bay. Dr. Judy Sakaki, Sonoma State. Dr. Leslie Wong, San Francisco State. Dr. Betsy Boyd, representing President Gail Hutchinson, Chico State. Mr. Keith Boyum, representing President Willie Hagan, CSU, Dominguez Hills. Mr. Colin Donahue, representing President Diane Harrison, CSU, Northridge. and Dr. Jenny Zorn, representing President Horace Mitchell, CSU, Bakersfield. I'm also so delighted to introduce to you one of our regional higher education partners, representing Modesto Junior College, Dr. Jill Stearns. Next up are representatives on the platform from California State University Stanislaus. Mr. Jesus Alvarado, student. Miss C.J. Cheney, co-chair, Staff Council. Dr. Suzanne Espinoza, Vice President, Student Affairs. Miss Barbara Glenn, co-chair, Staff Council. Dr. Kimberly Greer, Provost and Vice President, Academic Affairs. Miss Adrienne Harrell, Chair, Alumni Council. Mr. Darrell Hayden, Interim Vice President, Business and Finance, CFO. Ms. Haley Holm, Chair, University Student Union Board of Directors. Mr. John Jacinto, President, Stanislaus State Foundation Board. Mr. Andrew Jans, Member, Alumni Council. Ms. Julie Johnson, Associate Vice President, Human Resources, Equal Opportunity, and Compliance. Dr. Gitanjali Kaul, Vice President, Strategic Planning, Enrollment, Management, and Innovation. Ms. Nicole Larson, President, Associated Students, Incorporated. Ms. Marin Pitt, Member, Alumni Council. Dr. William Redford, Member, Alumni Council. Mr. Richard Rotine, Member, Alumni Council. Dr. Kristen Santos, Member, Alumni Council. Dr. Stuart Sims, Speaker of the Faculty and Chair, Academic Senate. Ms. Marlene Stante, Member, Alumni Council. And Ms. Polly Vacher, Member, Alumni Council. Welcome. Also joining us on the platform today are some very special guests. Mr. Oscar Cabela, District Manager, Wells Fargo. Mr. Joseph Fiscioni, Regional Vice President, West, Chartwell's Higher Education. Ms. Karen Gray, Vice President, Business Development, Compass Group North America. Dr. Alan Greenberg, first dude. That's what she told me to say. She made me do it. I listened to my boss. This is what she, so you all know. First dude, yes. Retired physicist. And obviously husband of Ellen. You've heard from him, and I'm happy to say his beautiful name again, Mr. Juan Felipe Herrera, United States Poet Laureate. Ms. Sandy Rocco, Area President, Wells Fargo. Hi, Bobby. That's Bobby Moore's. I'm sorry, Bobby. I thought it was Sandy. Mr. Gary Soyseth, Mayor, City of Turlock. Miss Betty Yee, California State Controller. I've also been asked to remind everyone that she is the one who signs our checks. I would like to note that we are joined today also by several public servants, so that we don't miss anyone, I would ask that for all of you who serve an elected office, we would like for you to rise so that all of us can thank you, those in the audience, if you're a member of public office or elected office. We had a wonderful presentation last night from several of our elected officials at Ellen's welcome barbecue for the platform party, so that was wonderful. Okay, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and students, this is my favorite part here too, I would like to express gratitude to the generous inauguration honorary host. Today's inauguration celebration is not paid for with public funds. It is paid for by private support, and I'd like to take an opportunity to read the names of those who are hosting these festivities for us. The first, a Groupie Commercial Company, Wells Fargo, Chartwell's Higher Education, the California State University Stanislaus Foundation Board, and the California State University Stanislaus Alumni Association. Thank you so much for your support. Oh, another favorite part. We would also like to thank all of the staff members, the volunteers, and vendors who have worked so hard to make today's ceremony and the reception that follows an amazing guest experience. So thank you all. And on this commemorative day for the university, join me in recognizing our Stanislaus State students and alumni. So if you're in the audience, would you please stand so we could recognize our students and our alumni? All right. As part of the inauguration celebration, it is customary for representatives from the Board of Trustees, the presidents of the California State University, and campus faculty, students, staff, and alumni to provide greetings to the new president. At this time, I would like to welcome to the podium Trustee Hugo Morales to present greetings on behalf of the Board of Trustees. Trustee Morales.
Thank you very much. I just want to welcome all of you, especially my fellow trustees, chancellors, chancellor, presidents, and all of you. This is a very special day, as our National Poet Laureate, Juan Felipe Herrera, has stated. Thank you, Juan Felipe. Those were very inspiring, special words. And as he was stating, this is a new time. And so, as the trustee who led this search, I want to say that we have a very special person and leader in Dr. Ellen Junn. I can say so much about her, but among the things that I can say about her, that she considers, just like Juan Felipe, who sees so many good things around us, she sees so many assets and partnerships among all of us. Sees us as partners and as assets, and that cannot be more important for us here in the San Joaquin Valley. I'm from Fresno, and very similar to here, is part of the San Joaquin Valley, and we face our challenges in terms of challenges of our students, ranging from K through 12 and on. And the university is such an important asset to improve the lives of our families in our valley. And this year has been a good year. We are an agricultural valley, right? I mean, it's been rain. Rain has been a blessing after many years of a drought. And So, so Juan Felipe, those words that you spoke really resonate with me, and I think all of us. And we have a very special person in Dr. Ellen Junn and her leadership. And she's a listener. She's somebody who likes to work with people, and it's also somebody who's a very hard worker. She's somebody who, I don't know, who's been more prepared than she in leading this campus. She came to Fresno and spent several years there working and helping students and so on. And she went to other campuses at the CSU to further learn about how to bring about success in our students. So those of you that are from the Stanislaus community, including students, you should know that she is student-centered. Those of you other alumni, you should know that she's student-centered. And she's community-centered, and I think, will do a wonderful, wonderful job here and leader here in our San Joaquin Valley. So thank you, Ellen, for taking on this challenge. And we look forward to your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Morales. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Stuart Sims, Speaker of the Faculty and Chair of the Academic Senate, with greetings from the faculty. Dr. Sims?
Thank you, Michelle. Good morning to all. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all here on this significant occasion on behalf of the faculty of Stanislaus State. Most especially, I am privileged to welcome Ellen Junn to our family here, though I must admit it feels a little out of place welcoming someone to our community who so quickly is already a vital and vibrant part of it. We're experiencing a powerful resonance on our campus, where our central emphatic mission is a university, a focus on teaching and learning, all of us working to help our students transform their lives, working to help transform our region, and ensuring access, opportunity, and success for those whom we serve. This central focus and passion harmonizes beautifully with the personal values and mission of the president whom we inaugurate today. That resonance is rare and transformative, and as an institution, presents us with unprecedented opportunity. But even that is only potential energy. To activate that potential, to convert our mission, our values, into actions that make them real, requires genuine and significant collaboration. An ability to know that no matter how our specific aims or ideas may agree or disagree, we're all in the same team. We're all in the same ensemble, playing the same music together. Having worked closely with Ellen for several months now as Speaker of the Faculty on issues and concerns, large and small, in conversations where we have enthusiastically agreed and enthusiastically have not agreed, I can affirm what so many already know. She believes in the success of our students deeply. She knows that shared governance and collaborative decision-making are foundational to achieving that, and her work shows that collaboration is a fundamental and personal value. As a faculty member, I readily recognize how essential this is to our success as an institution and to the success of each and every one of our students who embody the delightful, diverse future of our nation. To Ellen, on behalf of the faculty of California State University, with great and genuine enthusiasm, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you, Dr. Sims. It is now my pleasure to introduce Ms. Maggie White, student trustee, to present greetings on behalf of the California State University and Stanislaus State students. Maggie?
Well, good morning, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you here today on behalf of the Board of Trustees and students across the CSU system. Can I just start by saying I never thought I would have to speak after a Nobel Poet Laureate. So that's a little bit intimidating, but thankfully my CSU education has prepared me for this moment. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, I am a very proud graduate of Stan State, class of 2016. And as someone who was born and raised just minutes away from this campus, I know the profound impact that this university has on the region at large, which is why it was so important that we found the best person for the job of president. As someone who works with administrators every day across 23 campuses of the CSU system, I know how important the role of president is. They're a guiding star for the university and for the region. And when I met Dr. Ellen Junn, I knew that she would be our guiding star here at Stanislaus State. I love these ideas: embracing student success and advancing the region. And truly, when you get down to it, those are the two most important things that a university does for its community. I know that if Stanislaus State were not right here, basically in my backyard of where I grew up, I would not have had the chance to go to college. And so I am forever thankful for my education here. I am forever thankful for all of the opportunities that this institution provides for students across the county and across the state. I know how important this work is because it has so profoundly impacted my life and my journey. Dr. Ellen Junn, I so look forward to continuing to watch your success and the success of this university. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maggie. Now I'd like to welcome Ms. Nicole Larson, President of Associated Students, to present greetings on behalf of the students. We have a lot of students to greet. We love it. Students.
Thank you. Good morning, and on behalf of ASI and the students here at Stan State, we welcome everyone to our beautiful campus, as well as welcoming President Junn into our campus family. I am so excited to be a part of this new era of Stan State, in which it truly is, and the future that it holds is so exciting to look forward to. It really only solidifies the confidence that I had when serving on the Presidential Search Committee when we selected President Junn. In the last few months, President Junn has tirelessly worked to create authentic relationships, from working closely with faculty leaders, to eating lunch with students in our main dining area, to being a part of our town's holiday parades, and to cheering on our Warrior athletes in championship caliber games. Efforts like these create the critical bond between presidents and campuses that make us the family that we are today and what we will continue to be. Her support for student success is evident in her first initiatives, as well as being an avid supporter of issues that are important to us, and initiatives like a free program for transportation, for public transportation for students, as well as a Warrior food pantry for our students who struggle with food insecurity. She did this and ensured and will continue to ensure that the decision-making processes on our campus includes the vitally important student perspective. One of the most apparent aspects President Junn holds dear to her that is very well grasped within the students on our campus is that she understands the students that we are. We are first generation. We are first in our families to attend college. We are here at one of the most diverse CSUs in the system. We are students who, some of us, our socioeconomic statuses wouldn't have supported us pursuing a higher education without any financial aid. But we are here today because we have grit. And so does President Junn. When I said earlier that she works tirelessly, I literally mean I have no idea when she sleeps. Stan State has momentum now, with our recognitions from prestigious magazines, beating out Ivy League schools on significant achievement lists, and being a strong contributor to our workforce in the country, our state, and the Central Valley itself. The future of this campus is in strong, capable hands that will lead us to surpassing expectations while prioritizing that students' needs come first. And we have full confidence that that's the direction that we're heading. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole. And I also now get to welcome to the podium another student who's representing our first generation student population. The last two students, Maggie and Nicole, also first generation, but Jesus Alvarado will tell his story about being a first generation student. Jesus?
Thank you for that introduction. First off, I want to thank President Junn for giving me the opportunity to speak about my experience here as a first-generation college student. I come from Mexican immigrant parents who left their lives and families behind when they were very young. They crossed the border in its deserts because they knew they wanted their children to be citizens of this great country. And they crossed it because they wanted their children to enjoy every opportunity this land had to offer to them. My parents only had a 5th grade education, yet they always emphasized to me the importance of one, which was really funny because I always grew up with knowing the importance of an education. Right before my dad passed away, he sat down with me and he emphasized how proud he was of having a dedicated child like me. And throughout my whole childhood, I've always loved going to school, mainly because I always saw myself being an advocate for people like my parents who were dedicated, hardworking, undocumented immigrants. And I felt that education was the best way for me to prepare if I wanted to advocate for such population. Back in 2006, my dad was deported to Mexico, forcing us to move there for the sake of family unity and stability. However, in 2009, he did pass away, and our last talk inspired me in coming back to the U.S. and continuing my studies. I was only 14, and I was leaving my mom and family behind. It hurt, but I knew that I was doing it for the better, both for my future and my family. Because of what I did when I was barely 14, here I am taking pride in being the first one in my family to ever set foot in a university classroom and campus. Here I am. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Here I am advocating for my people who I've always wanted to advocate for. After meeting advisors, professors, and friends here at Stan State, I knew what I wanted to get out of my college experience here at Stan State. I knew that I needed to soak in all the wisdom and knowledge that would be thrown at me during my 4 years here, and I have, trust me. For this, I want to thank The Signal, Dr. Murrieta, and Dr. Stevens for allowing me to have a platform in which I give a voice to underrepresented communities I myself belong to, the LGBT community, the Chicano community, and the migrant community. Thank you, Stan State, for having humble individuals working within the institution who go out of their way to inspire students like me and not being afraid of taking risks. Thank you for reminding students like me that anything is possible if you put your mind and energy to it. Here at Stan State, you get to tell your story, just like I am right now. You get to meet professors and others who will inspire you to go beyond your full potential. You get to apply personal life experiences to your career plans, and you end up giving back to your community. Thank you, and remember to persevere. Thank you.
Jesus, thank you so much. I've lost my spot here. All right. Now, on behalf of the staff, the co-chairs of Staff Council, Ms. Barbara Glenn and Ms. C.J. Cheney, will deliver greetings.
Good morning, President Junn, esteemed guests, fellow Platform Party members, colleagues, and friends. We are very honored to be here on this momentous occasion for Stanislaus State. We bring greetings to you from the approximately 500 staff members from both the Turlock and Stockton campuses.
President Junn, during the last year, we have appreciated the warm manner in which you have reached out to staff. You made it a priority to visit each department in order to meet individual staff members and our valued student assistants. You have actively and genuinely sought feedback and input from us and have created staff positions on multiple committees on campus. We have felt your passion and dedication to staff. We know you truly want to acknowledge the hard work we do, and you have done so while infusing a sense of fun and camaraderie.
We have trust and confidence in you, President Junn, and we welcome you as our 11th president. We look forward to working with you in supporting and fulfilling your vision for our campus. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Barbara and CJ. I now have the pleasure of welcoming to the podium Miss Adrienne Harrell, class of '98, owner of Newbridge Management and chair of the California State University Stanislaus Alumni Council. Adrienne.
I have to say, this is what the Oscars must feel like, and I feel like a presenter. On behalf of the California State University Stanislaus Alumni Association, I would like to extend my sincere congratulations to President Ellen Junn on her inauguration as the 11th president of our university. As a proud alumna, I had the honor of being on President Junn's selection committee. We were searching for a gem, and a gem we found. I can tell you that from the very beginning, it was abundantly clear that Ellen Junn was someone special. Not only did she radiate confidence and enthusiasm, but she also had the foresight, vision, and the vision to prepare our university to the next level. And that is exactly what she is doing. From the very beginning, she has been diligent in meeting, engaging, and listening to everyone from students to civic leaders, in order to identify and fine-tune the university's contribution to our region and the Central Valley. President Junn is both accessible and approachable. She is a president who knows the importance of celebrating achievement and having fun in the process. Her tweet followers will no doubt tell you that she celebrates every win and recognizes every achievement, all while having fun meeting students, faculty, staff, alumni, and community members. Stanislaus State is unique in the fact that nearly 80% of our students are the first in their families to attend college. That is an extraordinary number. And President Junn has already made an impact on ensuring that their success by implementing the first-generation Presidential Scholars Initiative. She is working to develop partnerships with business community and Stan State alumni who can mentor and offer internships and jobs for future alumni. These types of connections and tools will go a long way toward empowering graduates of Stan State to realize their future goals. As the chair of the Alumni Council, I look forward to collaborating with you on these and future initiatives, and again, congratulate you on this distinguished occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrienne. All right. Now I get to bring forward the president of our foundation board, who will tell a little bit of his story. John Jacinto is also former chair of the Alumni Council. So John Jacinto, please come on up and introduce yourself to us.
If there was ever any question as to what the intent of this university is, we should go back to listen to what Jesus says. Please give him a round of applause for his commitment. Oftentimes, when we see someone achieve something, we don't get to see the obstacles that someone faces to get to that achievement. So that's what this university is all about. As a proud alumnus, business owner, and employer, and more importantly, a Central Valley first-generation college student, I am honored to serve as the president of the Foundation Board and to deliver you today, Dr. Junn, our collective congratulations on your installation as the 11th president of Stanislaus State. We applaud your student focus and your determination to serve the diverse and often underrepresented population. We applaud your commitment to the Valley, this Central Valley, and to the industries that employ our graduates, that in turn fuel our economy. We applaud your graciousness, your hospitality, your cooking, and your willingness to get to know us. And finally, we applaud you for your 31 years of service to public higher education. Alan, it has been an honor to serve alongside of you in my current capacity, but more importantly, I'm proud to call you my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you, John. Next up is our City of Turlock Mayor, Gary Soyseth, with greetings on behalf of the community and a special honor bestowed to an important citizen of a city. Mayor?
All right. Good morning. It is an honor as the mayor to be here as Dr. Ellen Junn is inaugurated as the 11th president of this great university. Over the past few months, I've enjoyed working with Ellen, as many of you have. She is firmly committed to creating a strong and unbreakable connection between the college and the city. And it starts with a strong relationship between her office and City Hall. Ellen might be new to Turlock, but she embraces and exemplifies what it means to be a citizen of the Central Valley that we all call home. When thinking about how best to highlight this renewed connection between Stanislaus State and Turlock under her leadership, I decided to do something I rarely do. Today, I'll be presenting a key to the city of Turlock to Dr. Ellen Junn. Exactly, exciting, right? I currently don't know where it physically is, though, so is it hopefully in the... Don't worry, I have my truck keys in case they... Oh, there it is. Perfect. Okay, you can hold it for a second. Presenting a key to the city arises from a medieval practice of granting respected citizens special privileges. The first key I gave was to His Holiness the Grace Bishop Mar Awa Royal, a man who is firmly committed to fighting the ongoing persecution of Assyrian Christians around the world. Exactly, give him a round of applause. The second key I granted just this last Tuesday to a local Turlock residents that own Lock and Stitch, a company that worked tirelessly to repair our nation's Capitol dome. And today, I'm proud to give this third key to Stanislaus State's progressive, hardworking, and dynamic leader. Friend, come on up. I have more to say about you in a second, yes. See, in ancient times, when it was common for European towns to be ringed by walls, visiting dignitaries were presented with the key to the city gate as a gesture of trust and kindness. These particular visitors could come and go as they pleased, with the assumption that they wouldn't be returning with a militia to lay siege to the city. I assume you've left your militia at Dominguez Hills, correct? All right. While a key to the city doesn't open any gates surrounding City Hall, today it does quite the opposite. This key demonstrates to everyone here that you've already made the personal effort to tear down any proverbial walls around the university and the city, and you remain committed to working with me, the city council, and the entire community to forge the university and city into one community. So without further delay, you have to hand it back to me. I, Gary Soyseth, Mayor of the City of Turlock, do hereby bestow to Dr. Ellen Junn, the 11th President of the California State University Stanislaus, a key to the City of Turlock, which represents the highest honor our great city can confer to any one person. Congratulations. Here you go. Absolutely. Oh, yes, perfect. So
All right, that went pretty good. We didn't rehearse that, so. Thank you, Mayor Soyseth. With 23 campuses, 8 off-campus centers, 474,600 students, more than 3 million alumni, and 49,000 faculty and staff, the California State University is a vital economic engine for California. On behalf of the other 22 presidents, Dr. Karen Haynes, President of CSU San Marcos, will now present greetings. Please welcome Dr. Haynes.
'Cause 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 Presidencies are about passion and innovation, a shared commitment to equity and inclusion, about a belief in the power of education to transform lives and communities. These characteristics immediately come to mind when I think of my dear colleague and Cal State Stanislaus 11th President, Dr. Ellen Junn. Ellen has had a lifelong dedication to the CSU, serving in teaching and leadership roles in our system for more than 30 years at 4 other CSU campuses. She has vision and values, courage and creativity, integrity and intellect. I know Ellen will contribute to reinforcing all that is already impressive about Stanislaus State while encouraging each member of this campus community to reach even higher. While normally I would never presume to speak on behalf of all of my presidential colleagues, today I have that privilege of officially doing so as the senior president in our system. On behalf of 21 other presidents, I formally welcome you, Ellen, into the circle of CSU presidents, and I acknowledge their pleasure and best wishes for your long and successful tenure here. Personally, as a longtime advocate for women in higher education, I am additionally, yes. I am additionally pleased that Ellen's appointment also helps increase those cracks in that glass ceiling. While nationally there have been minimal changes in the percent of women presidents over the last 2 decades, stagnating at 25%, Ellen's appointment, along with 4 other female presidential appointments last summer, catapults our system into a national model with almost 50% female presidents. Ellen's track record of supporting the success of underserved students, of focusing on the importance of university community engagement, and of strengthening ways to support non-tenure track faculty, particularly women and minorities, is well documented. Recently, Diverse Issues in Higher Education magazine named her one of 25 women nationally who have displayed leadership while tackling higher education's toughest challenges. Yes, bravo. When I think of Ellen's accomplished career, I am reminded of a line from the poem, When a Wise Woman Leads. When a wise woman leads, she thinks with her head, ponders with her heart, decides with her soul. With Ellen's resilience and resolve, her community perspective, her tireless advocacy for higher education, and her commitment to equity and success for all, I look forward to watching her wisely lead Cal State Stanislaus as it continues to be a beacon for the Central Valley.
Thank you, Dr. Haynes. I am now pleased to introduce one of my newest friends and community event companion, Dr. Alan Greenberg, retired physicist and husband of President Junn. Dr. Greenberg.
Thank you, Michelle. Yes, she's been so wonderful getting us to know the community. It really is major. Okay, as the husband of the president, I feel it's my role to be visible but transparent. There's something called the the Hippocratic Oath, but I've sort of converted it for the campus to be the Hippocampus Oath. That is mainly do no harm, give ignorable and disposable and irrelevant information to the president. And sometimes I try to give something that is worthwhile, and Ellen is very forgiving when she sees how really worthless it is. So I'm going to try and remain true to my oath and give you some information that you'll find very disposable. So thank you, everyone, for coming to the inauguration. For those of you who have been here before, you know about the area. But for those of you who are coming here for the first time and you think, well, this is a nice place to stop on the way up to Napa and Sonoma, enjoy some wine, you don't have to go that far. It actually is great in the valley. And if you wanted to go by the Stockton satellite campus, there's Lodi, which I think is a very much better place to stop than those other tourist places. So about Ellen's and her president. I'm afraid the campus will excel under her to such an extent that when the time comes for her to retire, and I have retired and everybody will reach that stage at some point, they really miss her. So I'm going to try and talk about what her replacement would have to have, the qualifications for her replacement. I know it's a little retrograde because she hasn't actually been officially inaugurated yet. So one of the things is that the person would not like to work. Now, everyone has been telling you how hard Ellen works. She doesn't like to work. What she does is a way of life. It's not considered work. She is so involved in what she does that she comes home at night after a long day in the office, and she usually comes home late at night. She'll sit down on the sofa. She'll open up her laptop, turn on the food channel, and start working. And she'll do emails, she'll do PowerPoint, she'll do phone calls up until late at night, much to the chagrin of people in the cabinet and staff and faculty who have to take these phone calls at any time. It could be the weekend, it could be just any time. I actually needed my glasses and I forgot to put them on. So another is qualification is that the person should like to entertain, and everybody knows this about Ellen. I think from the moment she came, she started entertaining, and she loves to cook, and she's a great cook, and the person who comes next to her, he or she, will probably have to use that qualification. She loves to engage students, staff, community, and faculty, and she never has a dead downtime when she won't talk to you, she won't engage with you, and I don't know how she does it because it seems like she has more hours in the day than usually are on the wristwatch. She just is amazing. The final comment I would like to make is that the number 11 has been good to Ellen. She was born on April 11th. She drives a Prius 2011. We were married on June 11th, 2011. And now she is the 11th president of Stanislaus State.
That only took 11 minutes. All right. Now we have California State Controller Betty Yee, who was elected in November 2014 following 2 terms of service on the Board of Equalization. As controller, she continues to serve the board as its 5th voting member. As the state's chief fiscal officer, Ms. Yee also chairs the Franchise Tax Board and serves as a member of the California Public Employees Retirement System and the California State Teachers Retirement System boards. Betty Yee has more than 30 years of experience in public service, specializing in state and local finance and tax policy. Please join me for our keynote speaker today, Ms. Betty Yee.
Thank you, Michelle, very much. Good morning, everyone. It is truly an honor for me to be here today to recognize an educational leader who shares my belief that the Central Valley is brimming with potential and who recognizes the role that our public universities can play in maximizing that potential. From tapping the Valley's vast agricultural land for research opportunities on sustainable farming practices to preparing young people for the jobs of our green energy future, and my own personal dream that the Central Valley can be the water technology capital of the world. The possibilities are limitless. The California State University system also has the largest and most diverse student body in the nation, something we should all be very, very proud of. And even more to be proud of, more than 1/3 of the CSU students represent the first generation of their families to go to college. CSU is educating future leaders, educators, scientists, and public servants. And even as students, half of CSU enrollees are engaged in community service. Now, I have the great privilege of representing this great state of California, and I've grown to love this particular region of the state, to which I fondly call the Central Valley, the heart of the great state of California. And here at CSU Stanislaus, more than 2/3 of the students are people of color, and 66% of students are women. CSU has the vision to hire leaders who reflect the enormous diversity of the bright young minds we are educating. Nationwide, less than 1/3 of all universities are led by a female president. At CSU, as we've heard, we celebrate that nearly half of campus presidents are women. The last 5 California State University presidents hired are women, and I just want to give a shout out to Chancellor White for really being such a champion of diversity in this great system and understanding that we, please. And understanding that our potential will only be fulfilled to the degree that we recognize the diversity of perspectives and thought that we have in this great state of California. Ellen Junn has the distinction of being just the 10th Asian Pacific Islander woman ever to head a 4-year college in the history of the United States of America. Now, in an interesting parallel, now we're talking about 10, not 11, but I happen to be just the 10th woman elected to statewide office in California's history. And I will tell you, don't applaud, because I'm not real proud of that, because I know Ellen and I will work to ensure that we are not the last women to serve in our respective capacities. As your CFO, I have the great privilege of serving on the boards of the California Public Employees Retirement System as well as the California State Teachers Retirement System. And it is really a great privilege to serve as a fiduciary on both of those boards to be sure that those who dedicate their lives to public service and to the educators in our great state are guaranteed retirement security at the end of their work careers. And yes. And even at two of the largest public pension funds in the nation, the value that diverse perspectives bring to business outcomes, particularly to the companies in which we invest, is critical. We know from recent studies that companies are in the top quartile for racial and ethnic and gender diversity, are 35% more likely to have financial returns above the national medians. Companies with at least one female board member outperform comparable companies with all male boards by 26% over a 6-year period. And women are credited with bringing enhanced collaboration to the boardroom and with creating a safer place for innovation and the free exchange of ideas. And we know, without a doubt, this applies to the classroom and to campus administration. Diverse perspectives and skills add greatly to organizational wisdom and help engineer visionary thinking and strategies. And I will just speak for myself as an example for a moment. In each role in which I have served, I have brought a unique perspective as a woman, as a person of Chinese ancestry, as a San Francisco native, as a member of a small business family, as a daughter of immigrants, as a product of our great public schools, and as a person who grew up with limited means. In the world of finance, I have often been the only woman of color at the table. And I hope that young women coming up behind me see that a first-generation American who entered kindergarten not speaking English can become anything she sets out to be, even the CFO of the 6th largest economy in the world. Likewise, I hope students and faculty glean from the unique perspectives Ellen brings to her role at CSU Stanislaus, and that her leadership inspires them to reach for the stars in their own paths. 42% of graduates right here at CSU Stanislaus are working towards either a master's degree in education or a doctoral degree in educational leadership. Another 22% are earning a master's degree in social work, also setting out a path to support young people, the elderly, and some of our most vulnerable in our communities. The university boasts 7 teaching credential programs. From elementary to high school, counselors to administrators, CSU Stanislaus is preparing the change agents of tomorrow, and Dr. Ellen Junn is modeling true and authentic leadership for them today. Those budding young educators will shape the future of our state. They will mold the policy leaders and the corporate executives, the educators, and the engineers among us. We've heard a lot about what Ellen has done thus far, and she's just had a very short time here on campus. But we know that her influence will be vast. And part of why I was so happy to accept her invitation to be here is because of the uniqueness of this campus and the unique location of this campus. And you heard Jesus speak eloquently about what this campus has meant to him in his life. And we all know that public higher education, particularly here in California, as a global economic leader, the reach of the work that we do here, the reach of the development of minds that we create here, the reach of the ideas and the innovation that begins right here, that are born right here, will not only affect us right here within this great city of Turlock, not only right here within the broader Stanislaus region, not only across this great state of California and across our nation, but really reach across the far reaches of the globe. And as we look at what that means, it is no surprise that the importance of diversity on this campus and along with all of our CSU campuses is critical to being sure that we keep strong and that we truly embrace the value of diversity in this great state of California. I recently was honored to represent the pension funds of the United Nations, being one of the spokespersons for combating global climate change. And I'm always struck by the quote that always greets me in the halls of the United Nations, and it's from the great leader Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. To change the world. And I often don't like speaking in terms that resemble war tones, like weapons. But I have to say, CSU Stanislaus, you are armed with the best and brightest leader to lead this campus of this time, and Dr. Ellen Junn is going to prepare this campus, students, faculty, alumni, and the broader community to lead the change that we need to see here in California, where we will always be a leader for what we want to see in the rest of the world. So I am very, very proud to be here. I am proud to be here to acknowledge the great work and sustained service of a sister in Ellen, and to also to say to you, Ellen, I am just so pleased to join everyone in this room, in this auditorium, to wish you congratulations and to extend all of our very best wishes for a successful tenure as the 11th president of California State University, Stanislaus. Congratulations.
All right, thank you, Betty, so much. It is now my honor to call upon Chancellor Timothy White of the California State University. Chancellor.
Well, thank you, Vice President Latte, and it's my great pleasure to join each of you today to celebrate the installation of Ellen Junn as the 11th president of California State University, Stanislaus. You know, when I think of the new beginnings experienced by each of us and by all of us yesterday and today, and when I think of the eloquence and the messages of all the speakers that preceded me, launched so eloquently and spiritually, really, by my friend Juan Felipe Herrera, who is also a gift to the United States. I'm moved by the comments of those who preceded me. This 60-year legacy at Stan State includes generations of students, faculty, staff, administrators, alumni, and community partners. You've heard this is a legacy that embraces diversity in all of its eloquent forms, of person, of place, of environment, and of program. It is a legacy of advancing social mobility, social justice, and shared prosperity. And it is rooted in the six-county region, where a vast majority of Warrior alumni choose to live, work, play, and prosper. Indeed, it is a legacy of always looking toward the horizon to a new promise for the people of this region, one that embraces a lifetime of achievement, one that embraces success for all students, alumni, faculty, staff, and their families, and thus their community. It is this legacy that has brought us here today to celebrate, as we know, the installation of Ellen Junn as the 11th president. But what you may not know is she is the first Korean-American woman, not only in the CSU, but in the United States of America, to be a university president. President Junn, I know that you are driven by the mission and values of this university and wholly focused on your shared vision and direction for the future of Stan State and indeed the California State University, California, the nation, and let's not stop there. Let's go to the world. You have my deepest respect and admiration and support. I know the trustees and the colleagues share that view of you and share that view of Stan State. And I'd ask if you could come join me to my left of the podium along with Trustee Hugo Morales. Face out here. You have to look at me. We do that in Long Beach every month. By the authority granted in me by the trustees of the California State University, I hereby invest you, Ellen Junn, with the office of the President of California State University, Stanislaus, with all the honors, privileges, and most importantly, the authority, the responsibilities and accountability pertaining thereto. Ladies and gentlemen, President Junn.
Thank you. Members of the Board of Trustees, Chancellor Timothy White, fellow esteemed CSU presidents, eminent members of the Platform Party, wonderful students, talented faculty, dedicated staff, and amazing community members and leaders from Turlock, the Central Valley, please indulge me in briefly permitting me to recognize my family and support team who are able to join us here today. So first, you've already heard from my dear, long-suffering husband, Alan, my rock, my stalwart supporter, as well as my always genuine, sometimes unpredictable and irreverent reality check barometer. My beloved mother, Sue Junn, Mom, wave. Here's my mom, 87. My brilliant and adoring son, AJ, and his lovely partner and fiance, Emily. Please wave. My beloved, faithful sister, Elise. Wave, Elise. I have another impressive younger sister, Jane, who unfortunately was unable to attend today. My husband's devoted sister and brother-in-law, Francis and Dr. Bob Klein. There we are. Some of my best friends from high school and college, Ruth and Steve, Chris, Mike, and Debbie. They're here. Please wave. Our other dear friends, Bob and Allison Kavner, and Dr. Bill and Eileen Halpern. Please wave. And to so many of the other wonderful friends and CSU colleagues who made the trek from near and far to be here today. I want you to know I cherish our friendships and thank you for your support for the past 30-plus years. And also, finally, to the wonderful residents, neighbors, and new friends at the university and the region who've reached out so warmly to Alan and to me to welcome us to this charming city of Turlock and the vibrant Central Valley region. We've truly loved making this transition and now feel very much at home right here in Turlock. Special heartfelt gratitude I want to say for all of our outstanding speakers that you heard from, including U.S. Poet Laureate Juan Felipe Herrera, Chancellor White, San Marcos President Karen Haynes, State Controller Betty Yee, our 3 students, magnificent students, for all of your wisdom and all of your messages. So thank you very much to all of you. And furthermore, I have to give a shout out because an auspicious event like this today would not have been possible without the remarkable, brilliant, creative efforts of our extraordinary Stan State team who planned and implemented every tiny detail of this event. So please join me in thanking the tireless staff, the advancement team, and so many others for their amazing and industrious work today. Thank you. So in sum, it is absolute bliss to be here with all of you. So good morning and welcome to Turlock. I am indebted to the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor and all of you today for your trust and confidence in me as the 11th President of the California State University Stanislaus. I thank each and every one of you for your ongoing rich contributions and activities that enable our students to thrive, succeed, and help our communities prosper. This is especially emblematic of our inauguration theme. You heard this earlier, embracing student success, advancing our region. Now, one of the purposes of a university's presidential inauguration is to commemorate the formal induction of a new president, along with the opportunity to reflect on the institution and look forward to its future. And this is particularly true at a place like Stan State, located here in the Fertile Valley of California. First, to our past. You can see the slide here. I thank the state for their foresight in seeing the need to create the CSU campus about 60 years ago to provide access to a high-quality public education in the Central Valley to meet the needs of students and families in the region. As is the case for any institution, we stand on the shoulders of our past leaders. So I am especially grateful to recognize an outstanding and pioneering leader of our campus, you see on the slide here, former 8th President Dr. Marveline Hughes. Emerita President Hughes also was credited for creating many of the lush ponds, lakes, and water features, which is actually a fitting homage to her home namesake state of Minnesota. She brought a little bit of the land of 10,000 lakes to our Central Valley. So I'm pleased to announce that with the endorsement from our Academic Senate and our Associated Students Incorporated, our beautiful Stanislaus State Reflecting Pond at our campus's entrance will be named in her honor. Yes. She was unable to attend today. She had really hoped to be here, but had a family emergency. So we wanted to recognize her for her leadership and for her contributions. Now, gratitude is also thought of, you can think of it as memory of the heart. Memories of the heart, to me, means acknowledging the formative power and influence of our families and our childhood experiences on who we are today. Now, as a developmental psychologist by training and as a daughter, I am ever grateful to my parents for making the courageous decision to come to America from South Korea, to a great nation where the plaque at the base of our Statue of Liberty reads in part, quote, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. I lift my lamp beside the golden door," end quote. My parents both lived during very harsh times in South Korean history and survived many severe hardships in their lives as children and as young adults because of issues related to the Japanese occupation and the Korean War. However, their optimism, perseverance, and strength have profoundly shaped our family. Here you can see my father, Sung-juk Young, on the left, and my mother, Young-suk Junn, and me as the first of 3 daughters. I actually have childhood memories of my father telling me that he and my mother could give us 3 things as parents. Number 1, the choice to raise a family. Number 2, the promise of higher education for their children. And number 3, the promise and privilege of living in a great democracy. These beliefs were part of his upbringing, and my father was the first in his family to go to college. So he was fiercely passionate about coming to America for freedom and democracy and to pursue his master's and doctoral degrees, eventually to completing his dream career in education as a professor of political science and international affairs in Michigan. He loved everything modern and American, and when they naturalized as citizens, they humbly took new American names, from Sungjuk and Youngsuk to what is now Bob and Sue. And all three of us watched them very proudly taking their oath as new American citizens. In addition, it's important to note that as an Asian father who did not have any sons, my father also converted to becoming a fierce feminist for his daughters, and I remember he would constantly exhort us by saying, "You can do anything a boy can do and better." So not surprisingly, as the firstborn daughter, I too share my father's thirst for knowledge and education, and graduated high school as 1/5 valedictorian. Yes, I know that sounds hard to believe, but there were 5 of us that tied for top GPA that year. And I went on to complete my bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees. I know if my father were alive today, he would scarcely be able to contain his pride knowing that his daughter has achieved what was in his mind the highest professional calling, to not only teach and do research, but to actually lead a remarkable university like Stanislaus State, and to fill this critical role, as you've heard, as the first Korean-American woman president in the United States. So it's with deepest love and respect that I say, thank you, Mom, thank you, Dad. Today, Stanislaus State is a truly unique and notable campus. In fact, I have actually visited in my 31 years 22 out of the 23 campuses, and I can tell you, I believe that Stan State, sorry, presidents, other presidents, is the most beautiful campus in the CSU. We have 6 lakes and ponds and water features and one of the largest urban forests in the region, with over 4,500 trees and all the water birds and so forth. But I'd like to tell you about a few other important things about our campus that make it very unique and distinctive. First, as you can see, the Central Valley is actually an extremely essential piece of California. We're located in the central part of California. We cover roughly 7 million acres, which is only about 14% of the California's total land area, and it is home to one of the most productive agricultural regions in the United States. The Central Valley generates, believe this or not, more than half of the fruits, vegetables, and nuts grown in our country, just from the Central Valley. And yet, ironically, this rich breadbasket of America also houses some of the poorest counties and neighborhoods in the state, primarily because it's largely agricultural and rural. Economies are less productive economically than the urban northern and southern California regions. So with such underserved small communities in the Central Valley, it comes as no surprise then that the educational attainment of students in our region lag well behind, with only 18% of our Central Valley students actually going on to earn a college degree. That's versus about 30% for the nation and 32% who earn a bachelor's in California. So Cal State Stanislaus will continue to be committed to playing a pivotal role in improving the educational attainment of our region. Which leads me to my second point, our extraordinary students. You already have heard from 3 of our most remarkable articulate students. You've heard from Nicole, Jesus, and student trustee Maggie White. We are so proud of all of you and all of our students on campus. And what's remarkable, as you heard earlier, is that all 3 of our students who spoke today are first in their families to go to college. So you can see from the data up here is that of our roughly 9,700 students on campus, 75%, 3/4 of our students are first in their family to earn a college degree. 63% are Pell eligible, receiving financial aid at the state and federal level. And 58%, almost 2/3, are students who are from underrepresented minorities. And I have to say, in my 31 years in the Cal State system, I've had the privilege of working with students from 6 CSUs, and I've loved getting to know all of them at each campus, and all of them are amazing. But I have to say that the students here at Stan State are some of the most polite, courteous, steadfast, hardworking students I've ever seen. They care deeply about making a difference for their families, their neighborhoods, and communities, and they should be proud of their ambitions to achieve and to excel. Therefore, we must intensify our efforts to help overcome barriers for them to succeed. Now, also importantly, the student success has garnered us some national rankings, and this is corroborated by these national studies. So Stan State is actually only one of 6 of 23 campuses who have not raised admission standards. And even though we welcome a larger share of underserved students, these students who did not have the luxury of strong funding and support in their K-12 schools, we have students who work very hard with our faculty and continue to excel, and consequently, they achieve student retention and graduation rates that surpass many of our other CSU campuses. As I said, this is corroborated by our national rankings. For example, Money Magazine ranked Stan State as the #1 public university in the nation for helping our students exceed expectations, and a recent NPR study ranked the campus as #5 in the nation for the upward mobility of students behind the top 4 institutions, Harvard, MIT, and Stanford. Clearly, our campus embodies the positive value a college degree provides for our students. Now, it seems like almost every day there's a news story or a new book out that bemoans the increasing cost and declining value of a college degree. And the question has often been asked, is a college degree still worth it? So let me ask you to please take a minute, stop, and go down memory lane. Cast your mind back to a moment and try to remember when you graduated from high school. For some of us, that may take a longer time to remember, but please think back to when you were graduating from high school and what was that situation like. Did your parents go to college? Did they expect you to go to college? If so, what kind of college were you interested in attending? Or did you choose not to go to college? Or maybe you started college but didn't complete your degree. If you did go to college, hopefully, some of your memories are good ones with not too much debauchery, with a good deal of learning and some fun mixed in. What era did you go to in college? Can you guess which era I went to in college? Guess which one? John Travolta. I went to college during the disco days. So whether you went to college or not, there are an infinite number of pathways to success, contentment, and meaning in life. But whatever your life circumstances, your experiences, and how you coped with them along your life journey have indelibly contributed to shaping who you are today, contributing and expanding to your sense of self, your aspirations, and informing a deeper, richer perspective on life and instilling habits of mind. Each one of us is a unique individual, and each one of us has had a unique journey. It's actually quite difficult to imagine what kind of life you would have had if you did not go to college, or what would have happened to you if you did go to college. So what is the value of a college degree? The undeniable fact of history is that schools and institutions of higher education are among the most ancient and venerable institutions that still exist on the planet today, dating all the way back to 300 to 600 years AD. These institutions originally were designed to educate and improve the lives of the very few who had the good fortune to attend these schools. Because this is an inaugural presidential inauguration for a university, if you had the benefit of attending college, I would ask you now to reflect on what did you learn in college? How did your college experience contribute to your life today? I know we could all have very long, interesting, fascinating, amusing conversations about our different college experiences, since in fact, in the United States, there are over 3,000 colleges and universities. However, as the new president for Stanislaus State, I'd like to summarize 5 themes that I hope to prioritize to further strengthen the quality, the stature, the reach and impact of our unique and outstanding campus for promising students here in the Valley. It's been such a joy and an honor to come to Stanislaus State to work closely together with our first-rate faculty, the Academic Senate, the Labor Council, and so many others across the campus to imagine our future, especially now as we're engaged in the exciting process of creating our new university strategic plan. In imagining the future for Stanislaus State, here are the 5 major themes. First, building relationships and connections. I wondered why Stanislaus State had such relatively strong student success. So, for the past 8 months, whenever I visit and speak with alumni, both younger and senior, I always ask them, what was your best memory that you have about your experience here as a student? Almost without exception, the alumni tell me that the best thing they remember about their college experience were their relationships with faculty. So, my first theme in imagining the future centers on the importance of nurturing and supporting a climate of strong, authentic, meaningful relationships centered on learning where students work closely with our incredibly talented, committed, accessible faculty, as well as with our passionate staff and our dedicated administrators. Therefore, I salute and commend our faculty, staff, and administrators who never forgot the vital importance of caring and helping our students in their daily interactions. I pledge to deepen support for the faculty in their teaching, research, and other key areas, as well as support the staff and administrators as they work with our students. Another important area in relationship building is to significantly expand and nurture the relationships we have with our regional business, industry, civic, artistic, cultural leaders and organizations, not just in Turlock, but throughout the Central Valley. Key to this effort is expanding the developing roadmaps for our K-12 partners and our community colleges to create clear pathways for all students to progress towards their bachelor's degree and beyond. By growing the pipeline of college-educated students, we can work together with our regional partners to make a substantial impact to the economic well-being of our region and serve as a catalyst for positive social change here in the Central Valley. My second theme in imagining the future would be to ensure that Stan State always fosters in every one of our graduates a deep and abiding appetite for seeking out lifelong learning. Here you see a quote from Einstein, who has said, quote, "Once you stop learning, you start dying," end quote. So instilling an insatiable hunger in students for wanting to better comprehend their world, to provide them with the tools and methods of inquiry to discover new meaning, resolution, and greater understanding is something that is within the power of higher education. Thus, the second theme is to continue to nurture this passion for learning that will guide and characterize our students' entire lives. Moreover, this hunger to learn is never too early or too late to establish in light. I will charge our campus to continue to work with key business and other community leaders to explore and develop new innovative programs, cutting-edge degrees, and certificates that will meet the needs of our region and fulfill the aspirations of our students, alumni, and the community. Now, having the passion to learn is an important ingredient, but universities and faculty should also pay attention to the flourishing new research on the science of learning and the many complex factors that influence both teaching and learning. High-impact teaching pedagogies and the selective use of new technologies can significantly increase student engagement and deepen student learning. These new methodologies and new tools offer students and professors the opportunity to discover, co-create, and make knowledge alive, working together in innovative ways. This exciting arena of exploration is especially intriguing to me as a cognitive developmental psychologist, and I will encourage and empower faculty and students to collaborate together to enhance learning. My third theme for imagining the future focuses on the 3 most critical outcomes of American higher education for students. In fact, these 3 components are what make an American college degree so valuable. This diagram outlines the 3 components to a solid American college education. The first is knowledge of human culture and the natural world. Another circle shows intellectual and practical skills. And the third is individual and social responsibility. What do all these mean? Well, the first circle, with the arrow, focuses on knowledge of human culture and the natural world. A college-educated person is someone whom the public assumes has familiarity and facility with scientific research and theory, and the skills to critically evaluate, assess, and render a decision or action. My hope is that a Stan State education will equip our students with current knowledge and history about many cultures and also understand the sciences to make our students credible, thoughtful, reasoned problem solvers. Next, we have intellectual and practical skills. Now, being book smart and possessing a wealth of disciplinary knowledge does not guarantee that you're going to be an effective professional. It can be far more important to provide students with more practical skills, often called soft skills, or interpersonal skills that enable someone to interact effectively with other people, including strong communication, teamwork and collaboration, adaptability, problem solving, critical thinking, and conflict resolution skills. While some of these skills, soft skills, are not often explicitly taught as part of regular college classes, I will support the campus to systematically build in a variety of opportunities, internships, and other programs that will enable our students to practice these invaluable skills in both in the classroom and outside the classroom to become highly successful professional leaders of the future. Finally, the third circle, individual and social responsibility. This component speaks to the importance of using one's college education to enact positive social change. This, too, is the ideal hope that students will graduate and make a positive influence in their neighborhoods, in their communities, and the region, and conduct themselves in a respectful, ethical, and socially responsible manner. Taken together, these skills and priorities will enable our graduates to become highly successful future leaders in their professions. Therefore, universities should not merely train students for jobs. Instead, universities should educate students who will change the world for the better. Fourth priority. Now, I tell you, I grew up in a segregated South in Macon, Georgia, for 5 years. And as a child, that experience forever changed me because I witnessed and lived with the gross inequities faced by people of color during this time, the early 60s in the United States. As a result, my fourth theme is to support diversity and inclusion by creating a new institutional strategic plan for diversity and inclusion that includes consideration of all aspects of diversity in a university, everything from the curriculum, the courses we offer, faculty, staff, and student recruitment and retention, campus climate, and community involvement. This actually is one of the most exciting, rich, and meaningful initiatives that we can launch to better support and ensure the success of all of our students, regardless of their background. We will assure our students that they belong here on our campus, and we will provide students with multiple perspectives and skills so they can function effectively in a diverse and global world. My fifth and final theme in imagining the future is to foster creativity in harnessing our rapidly changing, technologically advanced world today. Today, we live in a world replete with dizzying new discoveries and revolutionary inventions and innovations that are fast outpacing our former ways of life. So today, believe it or not, the average young adult in college is anticipated to not declare just one major leading to one career, but instead is averaging about 4 to 5 different major changes before graduating, and then undergoing at least 11 job changes between the ages of 18 to 48 years of age, according to recent U.S. Department of Labor statistics. In fact, students who are who enter college in the next few years may enroll in majors that do not even yet exist on our books today. So fast is the pace of new knowledge, new cross-disciplinary fields, and new occupations. As responsible universities in the nexus of this rapid change, it is our obligation to prepare, equip, and help our students stay current with these new innovations and help them take charge of evaluating and creating better solutions. Finally, let me close with a powerful quote, and it's one that Betty has already aptly noted from our wonderful Nelson Mandela. He probably expressed it best when he said, as you heard, quote, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world," end quote. The next picture shows this is Stan State. These are our vibrant students, our faculty and staff. Our students are first generation moving from college to the American dream. And this is why we are creating a new presidential first generation scholars in the Central Valley program. We are on our way. Here is a picture of our largest freshman class gathered on the lawn, the largest class ever this past fall. This is the class of 2020 who are showing their commitment to trying to graduate in 4 years in this photo. This is another photo of not just our first generation students, but we have many first generation faculty and staff who are also first in college, next to lead. I believe that faculty and students working together and learning together in universities and colleges represents the vehicle for constant human growth and renewal. Higher education is the crucible for discovery and positive societal transformation. Stanislaus State has graduated over 55,000 alumni, and many of you are here in the audience today as living testimony to the success of your alma mater. By supporting Stanislaus State, we are safeguarding and advancing the Central Valley, our state, and indeed the nation. We are changing and transforming lives. We are here for a reason and a shared purpose. On this glorious day, full of reflection, enlightenment, and yes, hope, let us imagine the possibilities and pledge ourselves to supporting our students, higher education, and the future. We are changing lives. Thank you for being here today and for your dedication and commitment to our students and future generations. Go Warriors, hear us roar. Thank you.
Thank you, President Junn, and congratulations. We've concluded the ceremony, and now we'll move to the reception for food and fun. As the President and Platform Party recess, please stand and remain standing. Once we have exited, our volunteer ushers will release you by row, and once outside, we invite you to follow the path of greeters and performers to our main dining facility. Today is an important day in California State University Stanislaus' history. Today is a day of honoring tradition. Today is a happy day. Thank you for being here.